McGuinness here, and a very warm welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Now today is all about de-surfing our bodies after our epic surf session. So I'm going to share a couple of moves with you that you can do to help restore your body's balance back to normal, or as close as back to normal as you can, by working through a series of movements that are going to help to release any muscle tension, any pockets of tension through the joints and through the body during the surf session. So I recommend doing each of these moves for at least 5 to 6 breaths. We'll see how you feel. If you need to do a couple more breaths just to release that extra bit of tension per move, then please feel free to adjust as you need to. Okay, so let's get stuck into our first move. We're going to work through the shoulders here. So bringing those fingertips onto the shoulders, finding a position that is comfortable for you in a seated position. So either with your legs crossed, or you can move over into a bit of a modification here depending on your hip mobility. So I'm going to go back to my first position. I'm going to bring my fingertips here onto my shoulders, so zipping up through that midsection, taking a nice deep breath in, and we're going to kiss the elbows together, send them around and over, down the back, sending that scapula down the back and just popping those shoulders back into their sockets. So remember, with surfing we've got a lot of tension and pressure through the shoulders by our continuous paddling throughout your entire session. So really giving a lot of love to those shoulders is super important. So coming back around to the front, kissing the elbows, coming up, around and down, and again for 2, and then for 3, deep breath in, exhale, coming back around for 4, and then continue this for a couple more rounds, 5 or 6 should do it. All the while focusing on bringing those elbows down and locking those shoulders down, okay? Second move, which is really good for the neck as well, interlacing the fingers here in front, rounding through the back. So thinking of sending the scapula down the side of the body, right, separating those shoulder blades, really pushing out here through the hands and creating a lot of space here through the arms. So keeping those elbows bent, rounding through the back, dropping that chin down, and then coming back to center, dropping those hands here towards the chest, and keeping those elbows nice and low to make sure we have proper engagement here through the shoulders, okay? And then take another deep breath in, exhale, rounding out here through the back. Keep breathing into the stretch, all right? So don't hold your breath, remember to breathe, and then coming back to center. So again, 5, 6 breaths or rounds for that stretch. Right, so we're gonna raise our arms up to the sky now, place our hands here on the base of the skull. You can give your little neck a massage with your thumbs if you want. So really making sure that those hands are at the base of the skull. We're going to inhale, exhale, open out here through those elbows. So really thinking of creating space here through the chest, and remembering to keep those shoulders down and back as you inhale, exhale, pushing those shoulders down back into their sockets, and then inhale, release, exhale, coming out with those elbows, dropping down, and then keeping those shoulders down, and then filling up with an inhale when you're ready and you're coming back to center. All right, another really great move, again, keeping those fingers interlocked or interlaced here. Around the back, we're going to drop those elbows forward, and we're going to think of creating length through the neck. So instead of just rounding through the neck here, I want you to think of actually kind of lifting your hands, bringing them up on the base of the skull, and just thinking of creating length here through the neck. So you can push the sides of your hands here by your thumbs gently, all right, onto the side of your neck. Remember, any movement to do with your neck, just keep it nice and gentle, all right? So thinking of length, bringing that neck up here, and thinking of length through the crown of your head, taking a deep breath in, and then exhaling, releasing the hands a little bit, deep breath in, thinking of length again, sending those elbows up here, and then exhale, all right? And then coming back down to starting position. So that's a really couple of good movements here for your neck. Then another one, which is one of my favorites, really releases a lot of tension. We're going to keep ourselves in the seated position. I want you to bring your left hand up, sending your palm out. So we're going to drop that right ear down here to your right shoulder, and then gently just resting that right hand on your ear. We're going to push through the palm of your hand, and all the while thinking of length here through the side of the neck, down the shoulder, through the bicep, into the hand. Now depending on if you're right hand or left handed, you might feel a different level of intensity or resistance on each side. So just kind of be aware of where you need to be giving a little bit more love and breathing into the stretch a little bit more, on which side. Okay, so on every inhale, I want you to fill up those lungs, breathe into the lower back. Exhale, pushing out through the hand and then dropping that shoulder down. You feel releasing all the way up through the shoulder, making sure that shoulders roll down and back, and remembering we're letting gravity do the work here, excuse me, with our head. So we're not pushing our neck down, we're just resting our hand here for support and letting gravity do the work. All right, all the release is being done through here. When you're done with that side, change it over onto the other side. Again, 5 or 6 breaths should definitely do it. All right, team. Then we're going to move over. You might be wondering what this pillow is here for, right? We've got a couple of stretches which you might want to prop a pillow, a towel, or a hoodie, or whatever you have available to you underneath your head, depending on your mobility. All right. So next one we have is a great one for the lower back and the arms, stretching out the entire body, bringing those big toes together. We're going to send the knees as wide as the mat. Right. Keeping our alignment here through our arms. We're going to walk those hands forward, and as we do, we're going to just push back here through the hips, sending that tailbone to the back of the room, dropping down into your arms, and thinking of keeping your forearms and your elbows on the floor. So we're pushing down, relaxing your neck, and just thinking of stretching and creating length here through the arms, the side of the body. Again, if this is a little bit too much for you in terms of mobility, grab a cushion, grab a towel, pop it under your head, right? Inhale, fill your lungs, breathe into your lower back. On the exhale, push those hands away from you. Push your tailbone away from you and just sink down further into the ground. Thinking of sending those armpits down towards the ground, okay? Again, 5, 6 breaths, rounds of breath there should do the trick. All right, once you're done with that, you're going to bring your legs together. Similar position here, pushing back, rounding through that lower back now, pushing those hands away from you, bringing them together and growing as tall as you can through the fingertips. All right, really starting to target those shoulders. All right, we're going to take a deep breath in, walk that right hand to the side of your mat, left hand over, and push that down. So creating the length here through that left side of the body, all the way from the pinky, all the way down through the side of your body, through your lats, down into your hips. Again, 5, 6 rounds of breath on this side. Walk your hands to the middle. Same thing again, pushing down, couple of rounds of breath. Be aware of where you're breathing into, okay? And be aware of your body positioning through this movement, okay? Thinking of really sinking into the stretch. Again, once you're done with the round of breaths in the middle, we're going to walk this over to the left hand side, cross that right hand over, and again, pushing down and thinking of length. So stretching all the way down through the side of the body to the lower back. Good job, team. Couple rounds of breath. Again, back to center for one more. Walking those hands together, pushing down. 5, 6 rounds of breath here. Remembering to breathe into that stretch, and then we're going to come back to center, okay? So, coming here into a tabletop position, we're now going to prop our elbows down where our hands are, okay? Sounds way more complicated than it is. So what are we going to do? Thinking of tucking that pelvis under, bring our elbows down, shimmy those knees back just a smidge. All right, so we have a bit of an angle here through the back, and our tailbone is really geared up towards the sky a little bit more. Deep breath in, exhale, push back with the hips, tailbone, and now we're really going to start to hit those shoulder muscles here. So really thinking all the way up the arm, through the deltoids here. All right, any pockets of tension on the top, just breathe into the stretch and help them to release. If you feel like you're stuck and you're locked in any position, come back to center, all right? Just drop those hips down slightly, send those shoulders back, and then take us back again. And try and sink down further, all right? So every inhale, think you're sending an amazing amount of oxygen here to the muscles, and on every exhale, you're thinking of sinking down here into this beautiful stretch as you let this oxygen exchange take place. All right, another nice deep breath in, couple more rounds, 5, 6 rounds, sinking into your shoulders in the stretch, and then we're going to come back to center. All right, team, so we're going to flip this over now for a lying quad stretch, for a lying glute stretch. Right, so lowering down nicely here to that lower back, and just tucking that pelvis under, extending both legs up to the sky, right? Keeping your feet nice and flexed. We're going to start here with the left leg. So bring that left leg underneath, all right, that knee, so it's on the thigh here. Interlacing the fingers, grabbing the back of the leg here, and then just start to lower that leg down until you can feel a bit of resistance. Sending that left knee out, all right? So we're not sinking in here. We want to create some tension and resistance here. So sending that knee out to the side of the room, taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, bring that leg closer towards you. So by bringing that right leg closer towards you, you're then going to stretch out here, targeting your thighs down into your glutes. Keep breathing, deep breath in on the exhale, coming closer towards you. Again, 5-6 rounds of breath. When you're done, stretching up here, sending those heels up to the sky, so really opening up here through the calves, through the hamstrings. All right, and then again, we'll take that same stretch onto the other side, same thing, interlacing the fingers, dropping that leg down, and again, deep breath in, and then as you exhale, bringing that leg closer towards you, and just trying to be aware of where you're breathing and which area, all right, of your body you're breathing into where there's tension, okay? Done with a couple of rounds of breath there. Again, legs up, couple of rounds of breath, heels towards the sky. Once you're done there, lowering your legs down here, team. All right, we're going to roll over now, coming back into a nice tabletop position. So again, thinking of alignment through the joints, all right? Curling those toes under. We're going to send that tailbone up to the sky, pushing back into a downward dog again. Getting a couple of breaths into the stretch here, pedaling out through the legs if you need. All right, and then we're going to lower down into a plank, so engaging through that core, bringing that right leg here to the outside of the foot. Right, so nice big forward lunge. Right, couple of deep breaths in here as we roll through that hip here on the left hand side. Good job, team. And then we're going to drop that left knee down, bring the right hand on the outside of the foot, sucking up here through the midsection, or zipping up through the midsection rather, and then extending those arms above our heads, coming down, sinking back into the stretch, and then just bringing those arms down. You can bring them to the side of the body, again opening up through that chest. So quick pointer with the stretch. A lot of people tend to really push through with their lower backs. I want you to think of keeping that spine nice and neutral, squeezing through the left glute, and as you do, your left hip flexor in the front is going to release. So got a lot going on here. We've got our arms open, elbows down to the side like you're doing a nice lat pull down, shoulder blades down the back, opening through the chest and the shoulders, squeezing that left glute, and then opening through that left hip flexor. And just maybe pushing forward a bit, but more squeezing through that glute. It's going to open up your quad, your hip flexor. Staying there for a couple of rounds of breath. Placing those hands down, back into downward dog. Nice big stretch, couple of breaths here, 5-6 rounds on the breath, and repeating back down into a plank. Left foot coming forwards on the outside of the left hand. Couple of hip rolls here, few rounds of breath. Take it easy. Then we're going to drop that right knee down, bring that left hand on the outside of the left foot, tucking up through the core, relaxing that right foot, arms up and back here again, sinking into the stretch with our arms. Again, thinking of locking through the center here with our hips, squeezing that right glute, opening up here through the right hip flexor, and as we do, keep squeezing that glute. So the more you squeeze, the more you're going to release through the quad, through the hip flexor. Zipping up here through the midsection. 5-6 rounds of breath. Hands come down, feet hip width apart. Again, find your little happy point, happy place. Sink those heels down. Nice big stretch here through this. Good job, team. Couple rounds of breath here. Lower the knees down into a tabletop position here, and then down onto our side for our last 2 stretches. Okay, so we're going to start here with the left foot tucked inside. All right, right leg is extended, nice and tall through the spine. Again, depending on your mobility, you might want to keep your right hand on the outside of the leg. You might want to tuck it here underneath the calf. Okay, so nice deep breath in. Exhale, twisting that arm around, coming over the side of the body. So important factor to consider when you're doing the stretch. Right, you're going to hit that lumbar region here of your back. But what we really want to try and do as well is rotate our body out. All right, so we're really hitting that deeper area that gets really tight, especially during surfing. So depending on your mobility, if your body is more rounded towards the front, just try on every exhale to rotate around a little bit, okay? Sending your heart up to the sky. And again, inhale, And exhale, we're going to round and stretch. So rounding, rotating, and then lengthening through those fingertips. All right. And again, inhale, filling up the lungs, filling up the lower back. And exhale, grow nice and tall, and rotate a little bit more. And then bringing that down, extending the legs out in front here. Nice deep breath in, extending those arms up, and then pushing those hands forward, thinking of length rather than curling through the back. Again, if you're really tight through your back muscles, through your hips, you might feel like you're probably hunching over a little bit. I want you to extend up and think length, all right? You don't have to go too low, just really focusing on releasing here to the lower back and up all the way into the neck, pushing out through the hands, and then obviously releasing here to the back of the legs, keeping those knees nice and bent. All right, again, a couple of deep breaths in here. On the exhale, that's your time to make your gains of your stretching, all right? So that's the time we're working on flexibility. So inhaling, filling up the lungs, filling up the lower back. Exhaling, sinking down into the stretch, little increments at a time. Right, a couple of rounds of breath here, 5-6 rounds. We're going to roll up slowly here through the vertebra, and we're going to go into our final stretch for our quads. So lying quad stretch, nice and easy. So again, lowering down to our stomachs here, left hand underneath the forehead, bringing that right foot up towards the glutes. Okay, so as we pull up, pulling that heel towards us, I want you to push your quad down into the ground, send that knee away from you. Good job. Here we go. Good job, team. Keep breathing, couple rounds of breath, 5-6 rounds of breath, thinking of length. Once you're done with the right leg, we're going to take that on to the left side. And then a great little bonus round for you. If you have time and you're feeling inspired by this, we're going to roll onto our backs. All right? Stretching those legs out. Again, thinking of that lower back. So tucking that pelvis under, stretching those legs. And we're going to bring that right knee up to the chest. So a nice big stretch up. This is a great one to target the hip flexors and the quads. So deep breath in. All right, as you breathe in, you're going to bring that knee up towards your chest, creating space. All right, focusing here on rolling out and length through that left leg, okay? And then as you exhale, let's grow long. On the exhale, and then just really tucking that right knee into your chest. You might even find, depending on your mobility, that it's slightly rolled out and it's kind of more geared towards your armpit. That's great as well. You're going to get a lot of stretch through your hips here. All right, so a couple of rounds of breath on the right side. You're going to change over and take that onto the left side. Same thing, deep breath in and then exhale, pushing out through the hip flexor, through the quad, all the way down to the toes, and just making sure you're breathing into that stretch. All right, team. And now our very last bonus round stretch. You're going to roll onto your side. So thinking of 90 degrees here with your legs, so keeping your knees stacked, your hips stacked. Again, depending on what you have available to you, you might want to grab a pillow, you might want to grab a towel, a hoodie, right? Just relaxing your head here, keeping alignment, right? Making sure your hands are stacked, and we're going to go into a bit of a windmill. So it's really going to open up through your chest and rotate, work on a little bit of rotation here through the back. So stacking our hands together, take a deep breath in. We're going to start to raise our right hand up above the head. So if you can, follow this with your eyes all the way around. Good job, team. And then you're going to stretch out here. Try to keep your supporting arm here, keeping that flat on the ground, okay? Pushing into the ground here as you stretch through with your fingertips here on the right-hand side, growing along, opening through the chest, opening through the midsection here into the lower back, and just getting a really feel-good rotation here. Deep breath in, right? Windmill up the top, round through, followed with your eyes, and again, deep breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to round back again. 5-6 breaths, okay? Once you're down that side, we're going to move over onto the other side again, keeping those hips nice and stacked, supporting your neck here, keeping a neutral spine, and then stacking your hands, stacking your knees, deep breath in, looking up, rolling out here. Good job, team. Stretching. You might even find sometimes you have a bit of a click in your vertebra, just releasing the tension, okay? So a really good free chiropractic session here. All right, deep breath in, and exhale, bring it back to front. As long as you're keeping alignment through your joints and the way you're lying, this is a super safe mobility movement as well as a stretch to do after your surf session. Okay, again, once you're done with one round, try again, stretching 5, 6 breaths, and then bring that round. After that, my friends, you are done. So please feel free to modify these. You can lengthen this session, you can shorten this session just by spending a couple of minutes going through a couple of these movements after your surf. It's going to make all the difference and make sure you're nice and limber and ready for your next session. Any questions, team, please feel free to send me a message. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and let me know what you'd like to see more of in the comment section below. Wishing you all a healthy and happy day. Take care, and I will see you again all soon. Bye, guys.